Please subscribe to help you and your motorcycle perform better.
So, everything went swimmingly up until then. I just want to check the thread walk in. And you want to know why I was so dejected that this damn thing fired up? Old and busted, hot newness. And these are glued in, so they're going to be problematic for a second. So, we got headlight cowling, air dam, front dam for both side fairings, rear fender you can see over there, and then we have both side pieces. Total cost, because this is Trash or Treasure bike, was $149. Was that delivered?
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Free delivery.
Free $99 on delivery from an Asian destination. So, old, busted, useless, what apparently used to be blue, is now going goodbye. So long, sayonara. So at this point, we've got to get those two tabs in, line them up correctly, bring that around to locate. On push pins, before you install them, always make sure the pin is proud of the bottom out. See how that lines up perfectly? So that will slide right in. Little wiggle room, it's seated, push until that is flat. Click. Now, let's go to the other one. Again, perfect lineup. Push, clip. There are 4 tabs that locate onto our fairing stay headlight combination. So the question is, as this is so, and I mean perfectly aligned,
This is just...
we're going to go over here and see how perfectly aligned this will fit in. So
far the fitment is crazy.
the fitments are, I would say, is staggering. So now we've got to line it up. So our 4
Hang on. Let me
dowel pins have to go into that receiving hole and the one at the bottom. So we have 4 places that this needs to fit. It's also got to go over the headwork. It is ABS plastic, so we don't want to fight and make a mess of this and cause a problem. So, top ones are lined up. Yes. Yes, top ones are lined up. So, start the insertion of the dowel pin just to get it in place. Okay, now go to the bottom. It's almost 100% through. There it is. Okay, that one's done. Now let's feel this one. Rubber's right there. That is not in. There it is. There's one. Top is seated. You can see from the bottom, it's right at the end of the rubber. So those 2 on those sides are seated. This one is in. That popped in all by itself, didn't need any assistance whatsoever. This one needs barely any assistance and it's over. If you look around from the mold that they used, again, extraordinarily impressive fit.
For $150.
And that's just one piece, so let's not get excited, Mr. Williams, because there are many more pieces to go.
So my question is, why the hell am I paying $1,000 for good race bodywork? Why aren't these people making it?
Mr. Williams, take your angst elsewhere.
I'm about to drop an F-bomb.
We are here to rebuild the Trash or Treasure bike, not put you on the couch and consult with you and make notes. While we're staying up high, let's take a look at the tail. Where did that bolt go? We have an unknown bolt that might be OEM because it fits and it's the right size, and we have 2 bolts on this end. Let's look at this beautiful bird's nest. We know that these can be all disconnected. This piece can come out and the aftermarket piece we purchased can go in. Then we can shift the aftermarket tail light with it. But we also have to define which one of these goes with which one of these, right? So rather than memorize it, the easy thing to do is gold goes to gold. Then we know black goes to black. Because I'm lazy and cheap, that's the quickest way of doing it. Okay, these are easy, they're just clips. So 1 and 2. Okay, knowing that gold goes to gold. So the question now is, does that pull up? No, it does not. It pushes down. And there's that. So now we're free and clear. That wiring will come with this. So that's good. All right, seat lock. All of this is attached into one piece. We leave this in place, we pop that out, spin it around, and take it out there so that just the cable comes. It's much easier to just take the cable, and then when the bodywork slides back, there'll be enough room to swing that around and it'll come out. All right, now next is bolts. What have we got for push pins? Not a lot. So we have 1, 2, and 4 are missing. So once again, Trash or Treasure presents us with yet another bill. So let's start the process. Lift up. Lift up, there's that. Now that we've got enough free play, we can go ahead and take the cable. Take the cable, now be careful with the wires as we come out the back. So let's pull these through first. Okay, that's good. No more obstructions, comes right out. Yep, we're good. And it's out. Seat lock, cable, tail light. Has 2 bolt mounts that are visible, one at the bottom and one at the other side. And then there is a third mount way back there. So that's what we're looking for, plus the 6 holes. Now apparently we're changing to black. Mount 1, mount 2, and mount number 3. So they're all there. And given the perfection of fit that we saw on the headlamp, I will not say I'm wildly optimistic, but I am definitely enthusiastic about how easy this will be to put that tail light back in. That being said though, if you look at the shape of it, it's highly concave. So there might be a little bit of this required to get it to go, because that isn't. So, onwards. Tail light is out. We only had 1 bolt. So you can see from the fitting here, that top U section slides right in underneath the painted bolt and washer. We had 1 bolt in on this side and 0 bolt on that side, so this was flopping around in there. So from a fit perspective, let's move across, because what we'd need to do is take that colored bolt and washer and fit it and screw it tight here so that this can fit on it. That would be mandatory. 1, will it slide in? So we'll go that way. Is there anything in the way? No. So a little bit more. All right, so we're in position here. Now let's turn it over. We are not in position there. We're a million miles away, look. So this side has to come further in. We can't see underneath here, but it's definitely tight between the wiring and the fitment piece that's got to slide in. So we have no upward mobility this way. I can't flex it this way. The only way I can flex it is out. So if all we can do is move it out, that side moved. And we're almost there. It's close. With a little bit more finagling, I am very confident that these will fit reasonably well. The other part will be if the key fitment works, and I'm sure that's not a problem at all. So for where we're at right now, and in order not to have to fight this and break our tail light, we're going to go ahead and put the old piece back on. It's actually the same color.
Yeah.
That's the tank. All right, ram air tube. We got one in on the other side. All right, now, goal is front has to fit inside and tab has to fit directly under there for the fairing stay for the big push pin that goes through this. So you can see that's got to go underneath. So we still have some finagling to do here to get that to sit inside. And one more thing, Dave, that has to line up with that. So everything is secure. So for the moment, we're leaving our rubber damper off so we can try and find the nuances of fitment to get this into the perfect position to slide in and find its own home where it belongs. And right now it's a bit of a fight. That lines up, but it doesn't line up on the bottom there. All right, and we again, whole thing's rotated this way, so it needs to come out. So that, if we push that under and do it like that,
Voila.
and as expected, exquisite fit. And then the hole lines up for the big push pin. And now, carefully, we've got to install our rubber damper. So, take that through. Now work it around. There's that. Missing it on the back side where you can't see. We'll try and get that hooked in. Try. There it is. Now that just got to fit inside the tube, and there it is. So at this point, ram air tubes are in now, fit correctly. All the holes line up. That needs to be pushed up and pushed down just a little bit to be perfect. And then the next piece of the puzzle is the lights that we stole out of the other fairing. So way back in the day, these were, people will remember Greg's Customs and brands like that. So you had tape here, which is now obviously completely dried and useless. So the other thing we can do is put a bead of silicone around that, feed that through, put our tail light in, and then put a C-clamp on it so that this is pushed and bound with the silicone to grip onto the bodywork itself with a C-clamp, and then leave that overnight, and that'll be done. Now it's dental white for your viewing pleasure. We hit the Joseph's Technicolor Dream Coat here. We have our little hole that we talked about with the brake line for the fitting to go through and be secured so it doesn't rub on the radiator, but we got to drill it out to the right size. No biggie. On this side, on the OEM fender, there's two rivets that go here, and then there's a U piece that holds the brake lines in place. With that piece here, under no circumstances, any way possible, can you get the front fender to fit without pulling the wheel. But fortunately, because this is gone, it will slide straight through and squeeze in gently both sides, and it pops. Okay, I started. So those are good. And we'll just go ahead and snug it for now. Dave's going to take a look and see if the fender is actually centered and looks even or flat or twisted or warped, because we're fully centered here. Okay, test number one. How much can I get in? Basically to the first knuckle. Now let's go to the back side, and how much can I get in? just past the fingernail, almost to the first knuckle. So in terms of mold and circumference, it's almost even front to rear in distance here. The other important part for those who are going to go to the track is that there's enough room for your tire warmer. Last piece when we're putting the front on is of course to secure it. So we have our self-tapping screws. There's one each side at the top there, and then in the bottom here, right in that corner, all the way in the back. The question is the hole the right size? So let's try it by hand first instead of fighting it. Because if we need to, we could always take this back off and drill it. And that doesn't want to start screwing itself in. So pulling this off, it won't even start in the hole, so it's massively wrong. So the first thing you've got to do is find the drill bit that fits the slot, and there it is. Now we're going to go up progressively, step by step with drill bits until we can get the first part of that self-tapping thread into that hole. Okay, first hole. Will that fit and start? No, it will not.
Negative ghost.
So we need to go up to the next drill. Okay, 3 drill bits up. So what we're going to do before we put it back on is install and make sure these will bottom out on all 4 and go all the way in, so that when we come to mount it, screwing it up is going to be a ton easier because it's already pre-cut the hole with self-tapping.
We started with 7/64 and we ended up with 5/32.
Just seated the screw and put it into place. So at this point, because we drilled it, we used the screw to self-tap the holes. This will go in way quicker and faster, so it'll be a lot easier. Okay, 3 more to go. Windshield time, well nuts are in place. Fairing is nice and flexible, so we'll start on this side and load that in first there. Come over to this side, squeeze that in. Come on, get in. So, there we go. That's got to come over and fit in there. Now, the windshield's got to go over the holes there for the mirror. Both of those have to fit, which is good, that works. Now, we've got to pull our bodywork up a little bit so it fits on both sides. There it is.
And this is a windshield from a crash track bike. Trash or treasure.
This is just spinning. It's not grabbing anything. So I got to reach in, hold the weld nut, push it out a little bit. Let's see if I can get it to catch. And then, there we go, that'll be better. There we go. Yep. So sometimes needs a little manipulation, and these 2 are the hardest. Get these 2 done first, and then the rest is easy. Mirror mounts are next. Got our gasket that we rescued off the old Bodywork. That sits inside the mount. Go ahead, place that over the top. Locate it correctly. Allens go in. We can start the Allen bolts.
Just be careful. Don't scratch the windshield. What's the torque value? What's the torque value?
So as far as the fairings go, why are we replacing them? Well, that's all busted out. That's all cracked through. The paint job was terrible, already peeled out, dirty and a disaster. So we're going to scavenge all the fairing pieces that we can and put everything back together with the fresh stuff. And we're back to dental white. Obviously, it's been stored for a while. A little filthy, but easy to wash. That's an interesting shape because that's supposed to be an arrowhead that's supposed to push inside a rubber grommet. So we scavenged the clips off the old Bodywork. That has to go inside, so I've got to flex that out just a bit. There it is. Come on, go inside. There. Okay. It's a little on the tight side, fit-wise. So let's go ahead and screw one in, if it'll go. It will not. Okay. I need that center one in too. Just as an anchor. So we may have to drill the ABS out because it won't go through the ABS. Yep. And that's why it won't bite. So we know that hole that is definitely too small. So let's take this back out. Yep, that's our problem. So before we go any further, we need to find the right drill bit for this so that we can move forward. Because right now, without that drill bit, none of this is going to work. So one of the good things from the hardware store is you get plenty of these plastic sheets, and normally they give them away, so you want to find the right drill bit. So what's the right drill bit going to be? Well, we need it to be the size of the shoulder. So at that point, if we were to go one smaller, that's the perfect fit. So 21/64 is the drill bit it looks like we need. Test it again, 5/16 won't fit. So 21/64, God knows what that is in metric.
So it worked?
I just want that anchor for now. So we've got to put a lot of tension on this to get that in there. So it's a long way from the hole. Okay. So now that hole, center hole, has to be stretched again to get that to line up. And you can see what it's doing up here. So that's in. Now we have another hole down the bottom, which goes into the bodywork. And that goes right up there. Yep. Okay, let's not break that tab off. Slowly, as everything's twisting, it's all moving around. One more. So that's got to come up and over. Remember, always pull back and seat before you fasten. That's done. Okay, now we've got that one, and you can see that's a million miles away as well. And there's no way to get that close. So that's a problem. That's why you want to anchor this one first. Maybe if you can start that one. The answer will probably be no, because we know it. So it's caught on the thread, but we're going to have to elongate the hole this way. So it's screwing, but it won't go in. So we've got to open the hole up to get it to work, and we have to go laterally this way, ever so slightly. So the Dremel will be fine for that. The hole there, hopefully the edge of the nut bolt, excuse me, covers the hole. So we'll see. So that's this side done. Let's go grab the other side. Wow, that's tight. We may have to open that one up. Oh, there we go. Holes off. First one. The rest of the holes have been fine. No, need a screwdriver. Still need the screwdriver. Okay. Both of those should pop down a little further, but they're fighting. That's getting better. There we go. Centered ever so slightly that way. Okay, that's done. Grommets. One, number two. Okay. Okay. That's not fitting.
There's this one.
So, the hole's in the right place, but this has to come over like that. That's got nowhere to move except down, and there's just a little rise there, so we may have to dig that out. Gotta drill it. Make sure it's straight, Dave. There's what? Yep, go. Yep. Okay. That'll hold it. Okay. So that goes under that. That's supposed to fit like that. And those two clips go over. So that seems right. That lines up with that hole, so that's correct. Except somebody tried to drill that out. We have a huge problem there, which we didn't know existed until now.
They stripped a bolt in there.
Yep. We're gonna get this to fit. This side is a lot more problematic. See how it's bellowing out? So it's so hard to get it to into the location to be able to put the bolt in. So let's try and get that out. Okay. Can we get the bottom first? There's that. Yeah, we can. Okay, that's going. Okay, that's in. Look how tension that is now. That is never in a million years going to fit there. Nope. Nope, missed it. Nope. Nope. So, everything went swimmingly up until then. I just want to check the thread walk in. Didn't damage it at all. Okay, good. And you want to know why I was so dejected that this damn thing fired up? Whatever they did here, we're hoping that with the Easy Out kit, we can drill a pilot hole, get it relatively dead center, and then try as best we can to get that out this way with the Easy Out. Come on, baby. You beauty.
Look at that. Just keep going. Easy out.
And precision drilling.
Let's not forget that. The drill operator is everything. Back to this annoying body panel.
Right, so in looking at what we've got, this time instead of getting stressed over it, let's see where our issues are. So we already know that that is warped 3 ways from Sunday. So that is supposed to be like that. And so maybe a heat gun will let us get that ABS plastic bent into shape and soften it up enough where once it's all back together and all of these pins are in, that we're good. We'll see. The other part is in putting it together, if we put the front half in first, and there's that with our front clips in. The other part that's tedious is that our nipple here, our T, is facing inwards. It's not facing straight. So if we mount that and put that in, that's in. When we do that, that's a big problem. So in doing that now, the question is, can we bring it forward to meet that? But if you watch right here, the answer is going to be only so much. That's hitting now our frame slider, and we're still a million miles short here of where we need to be. And through there, the bolt hole is not lined up at all.
Let's watch Dave take off his fingers. I love the smell of burning ABS in the evening.
So there's obviously a lot of stress everywhere in pushing to make everything line up. That needs to go back inside. But everything does line up properly. And once that first hole is located and we got the first bolt in, then the rest of it will follow one at a time. Try the middle first. See if we can gain some success there. Wow. That's encouraging. So next, this. Okay, that's in. So now the issue is finding how to fit that and find the right bolt, because you can see it doesn't even line up. So the question is, can we get away with these two? We don't necessarily have to have that screw. So now, there it is, that's in. So then the other part now becomes, where's the hole? There it is. But I think we're going to need a much longer bolt because this is caved away. We might have to just change the bolt to get something way longer that'll reach and then draw it in. And once everything else is in place, perhaps we can go with a slightly shorter bolt. The last piece is back here. And dealing with that, it's just ABS. So the hard part's getting them to join up in the middle. There we go. Okay, so long tube spacer, longer bolt, that'll secure against the frame. We're lined up correctly for the hole. Could we take a little bit more off here? Sure, but it needs to go up and back. Where's the hole? There's a hole. So this is not the issue, because as soon as we push it in, this thins out on the inside.
Yeah, the frame slider.
The frame slider goes away, so it's not a problem. This is how it all goes together, like this. Look at the difference in the size of holes. So we have to drill out everything.
17/64.
And for those confused and want that decimally, not a chance. Sorry, not happening. Just slightly over 1/4 inch.
Don't screw it up.
So that will, can we force that through? Yes, we can. Mission accomplished. So it might have been wiser to do it earlier, but this one went through no problem, because the holes actually lined up in a straight line. Because there were radial twists in the back here, the holes would not line up at all. These needed to be re-drilled so that the lines would line up,
right,
so that the barrel would go through and not get kicked at an angle, which would stop the push pin coming through. So now these are done, we need to take it apart again, and
paint.
Next up is some paint booth behavior.